share some tips on getting that first bar muscle up or getting more efficient on linking them together. Got two separate videos here, one of a well-constructed muscle up on the right, and then one of a not so good looking chicken wing sort of muscle up on the left. See, there are some pretty big differences between the two, and we'll get to those in a sec. But just to kind of share the differences in the muscle ups that we see and how to kind of improve the muscle up on the left so that it becomes a muscle up on the right. What I want to point out is our foot placement relative to the bar on the muscle up. It's hard to tell on the video on the left, but my feet are actually directly underneath the pull-up bar, whereas on the right, my feet are about 6 inches behind it. As I jump up to the pull-up bar, that's going to make a huge difference in the very first movement. If we continue on to it here, we'll see the very first thing we do once we get onto the pull-up bar is establish that nice and perfect hollow position. We'll see that hollow position here. You can see on the left, we are not looking as strong through our midline. We're kind of letting that bar sit directly ahead of us instead of having that downwards pull on the bar that we'd like to see in that nice hollow position. Do for us is it's going to allow us to propel ourselves even further into that extended position, which is eventually going to help us later down the line. So if we take a look at it here and we'll pause it at our extension on the left is much shorter than it is on the right. Now it is a little bit exaggerated on the right just to make it a little more visually able to be seen, but we do need a very aggressive extension coming through. So if we cut our hollow hold short, we're not able to propel our body forward enough of the bar to get to this super exaggerated position. We'll see on the left, our feet are almost in front of the bar, it looks like. On the left, our feet are in front of the bar. On the right, our feet are not directly under the bar, behind the bar, allowing us to kip backwards harder, bringing ourselves to the bar instead of cutting everything short. Aggressive kip going backwards to allow ourselves the time it's needed to bring our knees to our chest. And we'll pause that again here. We'll see on the left, we're almost bringing our body to the pull-up bar like we would be doing a kipping pull-up. The very first thing that happens is our arms are going to contract. We're trying to bring that bar to our chest, and we're not letting our hips do the majority of the work. We're letting our arms pull ourselves up. So if we take a look at the right here in this position, our arms are still fully extended. We're not doing anything with our arms yet to bring ourselves to the bar. Our knees are tucked up, which is going to later allow us to pop our hips. And when we pop our hips, that's what's going to give us a momentum to bring our chest to the bar, or our hips to the bar, whatever we're looking to do here. On the right, we're just not able to do that with our knees already below the hips at this point. We don't have any further momentum to pop our hips to bring ourselves to the bar. Here, when on the right, our hips are popping, we just kind of float up and over the bar, as on the right, we sort of chicken wing ourselves over. We don't have any momentum from our hips, and we're left to do the majority of the work with our arms pulling and wrenching ourselves over the bar. That is very apparent, and we'll pause it here with the ring muscle up. We'll see that same motion is needed to bring those knees above the hip crease before we do any sort of pulling with our hands. We see that here, our arms are still fully locked out, our hips are below our knees, and then we'll continue on with the clip, and we'll see that we actually really pop our hips in the ring muscle ups, which is going to allow us that momentum to carry our body upwards. We can see our arms are starting to bend a little bit, and that's not a product of me pulling. That's actually a product of the hip momentum going forward, propelling ourselves upward. And it actually continues a little bit on past this frame too, and then we just finish off the muscle up, whether it be on the rings or the bar, with that big sit-up. Side shot here just to get a better look at things. We're going to start off with our feet behind the bar, jumping up to that bar, getting into ourselves into a nice hollow body position here, swinging forward into that super exaggerated extension, kicking our knees up so our knees are up before our hips. We can see that here, almost like we're sitting up. And then we're going to pop our hips by squeezing our glutes, thrusting our hips to the bar. Not as evident in the ring muscle up just because we have to clear that bar. We can't go through the bar like we can with the rings. And that momentum from our hips is what propels us the rest of the way over the bar. So a couple tricks we can, or a couple tips we can do just to kind of work on this. The first one being knees to elbow, really exaggerating that extension position and then pulling back on the bar, keeping our arms long and bringing our knees up to our chest or knees up to our elbows. And then after that, once we're comfortable getting into that, we can get into our knees to our elbows and then work on that hip pop as we can see here. So I'll just kind of finish this off showing the two clips once again side by side, really focusing on exaggerating the positions, making sure we're starting in that really nice hollow position, going into our extension, being patient with our body, bringing our knees up, arms long, and then popping our hips. Once we pop our hips, squeeze our glutes, the rest of our body will follow suit. Our chest will rise and follow ourselves over the bar. Hope that helps.